ba 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 bam. We in the building, baby.
Yep. Here we
We in
are.
the building for sure. Were you
Yet
feeling
another
academic
Monday.
today? Were
I'm
you feeling
feeling
academic?
very Yanbona to represent a brand.
Or you are pleased about what
The
I've learned?
coolest
Since
brand.
I'm a news person. Are you excited about the fake qualifications that are finally going to be proud and
Well, you know what? Please, no comment on this one. It's a very sensitive matter. We
I
are
know, right?
dealing with it.
I know, right? Like the professional you are. Well, guess who's not joining us? The timekeeper.
Listen, this dude, second time now. Second time
Did you hear the excuse though?
he's sick. Oh, why are guys like this when they are sick? Just man up, man. You know, once and for all.
I can
Usisa
imagine.
aphunge it.
I know how ladies feel when they get stood up on a date. I'm sure that's how we're feeling
And
today.
last minute, no,
Last
so
minute.
ready, so and you are ready to just, go, and then go to and pilanga, and this is my mind.
Oh, but
I
anyway,
was
speedy, speedy recovery, Zizi, speedy recovery.
course,
Yeah, we'll leave everything else aside. Queen, where do we begin? We've got quite a fat show today. We speak to
yeah,
the Nelson Mandela Bay Film Forum. We'll be speaking to the chairperson,
yes,
Usebenzile Zalaba, and then we are also quite excited about this because, for starters, it speaks to entrepreneurship. It speaks to a lot of things, man. Like what do they call it? The other income that you do, that we generate
that
as
stream
an entrepreneur.
income, yes,
Yes,
generating that stream income, yeah.
yeah, but this one I'm excited about. Yeah, we're gonna be speaking to the founders. Just glamping as a business, we're talking
Yeah.
glamping entrepreneurship. Yeah, as I had explained,
Mm,
it is camping that went to private school. You sleep on
it's
double
camping,
bed.
yeah, good private schools, and as a private schools, the serious, you
Is as
understand?
serious now? Not as a yeah.
Not semi-private, like proper private schools.
Proper private schools, man. So what's been happening on your end? I know I'm gonna sound like JJ Tabane at some point because I'm going to rant about crime in South
Of
Africa
course.
and the fact that the
Jeez,
minister went
man.
out. Okay, let me not start. Let's hear what you have to say.
Firstly, I mean, on a rant, I want to go on a rant of myself. I don't know why in 2022 our government still uses as the old systems and manuals when we are making applications. I was renewing my license, and driving
Mm.
license, and of course I have to take a full day because
Wow.
the government yet is just not ready. They don't have technology systems in place. You queue for just to about a form, which was mind-boggling for me. I'm not gonna say which traffic department was this, but I found that to be very like a
I'll
dumb
say it,
system.
name and shame. That's why we are here.
I was
Name and
just
shame.
disappointed, like, because I was just like, okay, ndicinga la bantu abadala who've been standing here. So first of all, you are queuing for ufumana the form because you're applying for whatever, whether it's a driver's license or you are, licensed this or what. And then
Mm.
you have to come back to this. Once you filled out the form, you have to come back again. For like, why will let you? After you've gone through your eye testing or whatever that you need to do,
Oh
come
man.
back to bring back your form. Uqala ekuqaleni ke, mind you, because now there are other people that have come now. Because kaloku uyofila form. Which,
No,
oh gosh.
that's
Okay, so it
silly.
was just a lot. It's very silly.
Look at
But more than anything, it's disappointing because I mean we are talking technological advancement. We are talking for IR. Why is our government departments not embracing technology so that there is going to be efficiency of service delivery? That was my whole chat after this experience.
Crazy enough, they are talking about acquiring a licensing machine or the machine that generates. Remember, there was
Yes,
an issue when Umbax was in Minister of Transport or
yes,
something, and there's a machine that needed to go get fixed. Apparently, the government is trying to acquire their own. I think there are about 3 machines currently in the country that are
yes.
working, and now they need to get new ones, and
Yes.
it's going to come, I think,
Yeah.
at billions of rands. And a lot of people out there, and all of those people who look on things on our behalf as taxpayers, they are asking
Yeah.
a lot of questions about where's the transparency as far as this is concerned. You are throwing a
Yes.
big in terms,
Yes.
in wanting to replace this, but there's certain things, like you say, that they are definitely not taking advantage of, which is
Yeah.
technology. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
think it was one of the things that the president was lauded for. He came with the 4IR, 4RI
Yes.
or whatever. Yeah, sounds like
Mm.
golf. Yeah. So he spoke about that. So at this point in time in 2024 in South Africa, and I think as well, these things funneling down to get to the province, because excuse me, I can tell you, I went to go renew mine. Well, my driver's license was stolen with my phone,
Yeah.
and I went to a place in Midrand, a waterfall. I was in and out like this.
You
There are
see.
people on the floor who are dedicated. Now it also goes down. It also speaks to our provinces as well. You know how we,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
We
So
were
I
saying
feel
the
you.
same. So I ended up, because people, I was basically the person on the floor, because I was telling people, well, this is the queue of Nagume Kuyo if you are going for,
Oh,
for
no
your
ways, dude. You do the same
registration
thing
of
I
your car.
do.
I was like, you ungafoli on this one if you are coming just to collect your, your card. Nancy, right? You, Mama, please queue on this one. Uzele ndoni up. Because there was no one on the ground to do that, and I was asking, why do you not have a person that is, like banks do? They you don't queue a bank in go anymore just
You know,
for
but
indongayazi by line right, and then only to be told at the end, but you are on the wrong queue, sir or ma'am. You have to have someone on there, because you don't have a system. Because ideally, Sly, what they need to do is to have the same system here, bank, where you just choose self-service. That's gonna tell
self-service.
you this is what I'm here for. Yes, and then if mana, in number, and also if you have that number, you can see when, all right, I have about 4 people in front of me or 10 people in front of me. Maybe I can go and do something else quickly and then come back.
Mm.
Um, but like you say, in some provinces at least there is effort, in trying to make sure bana frustration abantu abayifumani. But I think our government really needs to start um, just literally going into the practicalization of the theory. For IR, in terms of theoretically, it's a nice thing. It's a beautiful thing. But on the
Yeah.
ground, I translate it, because why are we still? I was asking also, why are we still filling out a form where I can actually do the application online, and I get there, you already have my details. Why must I write the form, the filisha form, a greening or 2024? Why are we doing this?
That is our country. It is a very interesting a month. It is
Yeah.
breast cancer month.
Breast
It
cancer awareness
is
month.
transport, yes, awareness month. It is
Yeah.
also transport month. What's the other thing?
It is also Mental Health Awareness Month as well, actually.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, yeah. For people
yeah.
like.
Yes.
Yeah, we are
It's
just
a good one.
waiting for the chairperson of the Nelson Mandela Metro Film
Yeah.
Forum. Very interesting, and look, it's coming on the foot of. What was that series? Gqeberha being cancelled. It
Rebecca.
was shot in a,
Yeah.
it was. I think it had a contribution towards the economy in the Nelson
Mm-hmm.
Mandela Bay. So maybe these are questions that he probably will answer for us. But I think more than anything, we are with him so that we can find out what the Nelson Mandela Bay, film forum is about. So that
Yeah.
people can stop coming to Joburg and saying there are opportunities in Joburg
Core
when they are.
opportunities, and there's no awareness and understanding when there are things on the ground actually in the Eastern Cape that people can get involved with, or just
Mm,
try and
yeah.
find out more information. So I love this. Yeah, that we have someone that can actually answer a lot of questions that Abapulapul or just our listeners and viewerships have really around the film industry.
Yeah, I think just a few minutes. Otherwise, if he's not coming on, we'll obviously go ahead and go to Campscapes.
Sure.
The
Cool,
minister
cool.
came out, went yesterday. We all know about the 18 people that were gunned down in cold blood, Elusigisigi. And by the way, speaking of that, we've just learned that there are about 6 more people, or 6 people that have been gunned down in Gumbu. in the Eastern Cape.
What
These
is
guns are
happening?
everywhere, and they are
What?
everywhere. And yeah, and I think crazy for me was the minister coming out. I think it was the memorial service where he actually held a sideline press briefing where he was talking about the 3 suspects that were arrested, and it was neither here nor there. He was contradicting himself quite a lot, and I think that comes from the fact that South Africans are expecting an answer and a
Yes,
response and some
yes.
level of efficiency from our enforcement. But to go out and say that there are people that have been arrested, and when you get quizzed by journalists in terms of like, okay, are these people linked? And yours is, we don't know, but like we're talking about the backlog of cases. So 3 people have been arrested. They might be linked to the killing of the 18 people. And today, the entire community of Lusikisiki went to the courts only to be told that there is no such thing. There are no 3 people that have been arrested. So I think I'm just I'm just fucked off, really, like to be perfectly honest.
It's just disheartening. Like honestly, it's really disheartening because the question is then what must happen? Are they saying that people must just accept that they must live in fear and this is what's going to happen? The manslaughter that's happening is just going to continue to happen. What exactly is our government saying to our people?
There's something that I mean, like there's another case, and I'm also trying to contain my emotions because I know a person who is close to me. I'll say a colleague who had a tragedy that involved the hijacking and that involved a person getting shot. Luckily, they survived. You still have guns. You have a flipping issue with guns.
Sure.
You have a flipping issue with guns. You have all the efficiency in the goddamn world. In 2010, South Africa, like there were, how many cases were there? I think there were about 6 of people who actually broke the law because law enforcement was everywhere. And those cases were tried in about 24 hours. Because whatever court case that happened during that time, it had to be like dealt with during that time.
We are slowly moving into a lawlessness country, which is very scary.
It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable.
It's really, really just disheartening because what exactly is the plan? Because it doesn't seem like our government has a plan, and that's what makes them fumble. Probe as a journalist because they're asking these key questions where they're supposed to come with answers. You can't come, where 6 people have been gunned down, and I'll not quite clue in terms of where you're going to start or your department is going to
with
start.
All the intelligence that you have in the country.
I mean, what is happening? Really, what is happening?
Nah, man, nah. I'm really like when you're thinking, you fear for your family, you fear for like over your right to leave, your right to make your money. You have to pay 10% to somebody, and you're telling me that the government cannot grab a hold of what the hell is going on and find the people who are responsible for it. And yes, of course, it is well known, as much as Bana, you can say whatever you want to say about politicians are fucking involved, and like when is it going to end?
Very clear. That is very clear because there is no flippant ways like so that they cannot do anything about that situation unless they are benefiting somewhere somehow. And that's a chat that we just need to come to have really, realistically, to say, look, there must be some kind of benefit up because otherwise, why do you sit around and just. And I think it's the same thing where who's the police commissioner was a case at end who is being now pushing.
Oh, that guy who who doesn't fuck around.
Yeah. Because that's what we need. Actually, we need a person like that who's going to do not negotiate with criminals. We cannot put our police officers into a position where they are weakened, because they must negotiate with the criminals, and in that negotiation they end up being killed because these people have guns. And then no, you are actually literally going on a criminal hunt. I mean, so what must happen then? Must people suffer because the criminals is in around?
Yeah. And today, and today I think Kosatu had It wasn't a national shutdown, but it was a strike
Yeah.
to bring awareness to all kinds of things. And my question is, if you are not as COSATU, yes, you are there for employees, all right, for the
Yes.
working force. How are you going to get a working force in a country that is dysfunctional, in a community that is dysfunctional? How are you
How are
going to?
people gonna
So
go to
maybe
work if there
your
is so much going on?
mm, yeah. So challenges are plenty as far as this beautiful country of ours is concerned, and I think South Africans we don't stand up enough, and
No.
I think if we have time for it, because I just need to get a hold of our peeps so we can get
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
with what they have for us,
Please
and
come on.
yeah, because what I wanted to touch on, remember we said like we'll wait until Sisa is back before we can talk about Puff
Yes.
Daddy,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
mentioned Dr. Umar. He's come out with people might call it a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
But hey, if you've got like a gazillion degrees in psychology and all kinds of stuff, and you are able to put things together, and you probably have a team that does the research for you before you go speak in
Yeah.
public, you probably must be on to something, because he mentions, for an example, but like obviously we'll talk about it later on. He mentions, for an example, that America is in election season right now, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
So what better time to steer the people's focus from the vote, and bring in something like,
Okay.
and
Okay.
yeah, and obviously a company like Diageo, which had legal rambles with P Diddy. P
Yeah.
Diddy is the same guy who started a political party, I think, in about 2000. It never gained momentum. He just stopped. I think like that's what happens with most entrepreneurs. Let's quickly go to the chairperson. He is here and finally joining us. Good sir. We've been in waiting.
Um.
How are you doing?
I don't think
I
you're hearing us.
Yeah, I think we might be struggling for network where he is concerned.
Yeah.
Because now it's just frozen. Because yeah, really, I mean, like if we're talking what we're gonna be talking to him about, Nelson Mandela Bay, it's about time.
Mm.
It's about time there is an economy. It's about time. If you ask me about well, yeah, we can't talk about it because can't have you comment on it. But like the whole issue with the institution and the probing of yeah, people. But anyway, I think he is here.
I think he's trying to say something, but we can't hear you. We can't hear you say
Um,
something with audio on your side.
okay,
It's
I think your
definitely
audio is muted.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You if you can just check your if your audio is connected properly
Okay, cool.
as we try.
Okay, cool. I
Technology.
think yeah, that's technology, and I think for us, I mean, like this is something that we've always shared with our viewers, that we
Yeah.
are live for a reason. There is a reason, and
Yeah.
that reason is for you to actually be able to interact with us.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
just picked up, who's this? Zwandile Zwai. Has just
Zwanele
sent us
Zwan-
good luck, Slazos.
Oh,
So yeah, you can
okay.
yeah, you can join the conversation at home. This is why we are here. Ask us, ask our guests whatever questions you have. We have a comment section. If you are watching us on YouTube or you're watching us on Facebook, on the Facebook page, you are able to send a comment or to ask a question, or there's something that we're missing out on, in terms
Yeah.
of what's been happening since we were all live together. I think at this point, what I will do is, are we gonna head over to the Queen?
Well, you know what? As you try to get Usebs on, I can definitely let's move into the Momo session and see if we can get the interview afterwards.
What's in store today?
because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, I just want to do some education and just clarify a few things as far as mental health is concerned, and
Mm.
also make people understand why this month is dedicated to mental health, and of course, 10th October being the Mental Health Awareness Day,
Mm.
is very important for us to put a spotlight on mental health.
Mm.
Considering all the things that we also just talked about now, the crime,
Yeah.
happening. So people are struggling, and our mental health is really I think, under pressure. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
are.
Okay, cool. Let's just try him one more time.
Let's
Sebs?
see.
Okay, cool.
Disappear steps.
Okay.
Disappear.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on yourself. It can also be a developmental crisis issue. Keep pushing and stay the course. Keep pushing and stay the course. You know what? Life requires us to always keep pushing, because there's always going to be challenges that we're dealing with. Welcome, guys. I hope our viewers are here today for this session, mental health session, our Momo sessions with your girl tops, the psychologist. Today, you know what? There's a lot of information and incorrect information that people have around mental health, and perhaps I felt a bit of irresponsibility, Ubana. It is important for me to take the responsibility as a professional in the mental health space, to educate abantu, and to demystify some of the misconceptions and a lot of wrong things that people spread around as far as mental health is concerned. So in Mental Health Awareness Month is really about breaking mental health stigma, because there's a lot of stigma around mental health. Believe it or not, a lot of people still do not even understand what mental health and mental illness, what is the difference. And a lot of people don't disclose when they are having mental illnesses or they are struggling, because of the fear and feeling guilty. They feel like they are weak. They should be coping. They should be managing, and also the fear, Guti, they are going to be judged by the people around them. So a lot of people suffer in silence when it comes to mental health, which leads to unfortunately a tragedy of people committing suicide, because they are scared to just talk about their struggles. So this session, I'm going to really just focus more on what do we talk about when we say mental health, and what do we talk about when we talk about mental illness. And really, Sly, it's important that our viewers understand that mental health and mental illness are both states of well-being, right? And they are on a continuum. So that means on this side, if you had two sides, you had one side, you have mental health, the state of being healthy. And
Mm.
what that means in simple terms is, if ungumntu osebenzayo ophangelayo business yakho, you are able to function productively, you are able to do what you're supposed to do to achieve your goals. You have the energy, vitality, to get up the next day, plan your day, do your work that you've set out to do. Ungumntu that is also managing the relationships that you have, whether it's intimate relationship, family relationships. You are able to manage and deal with the conflict that rises, and you are able to have healthy relationships with your families, your colleagues, and people around you. You also feel a sense of purpose in your life, which is very, very important. When you have mental health, you feel that life wako, ubomi bakho meaning, and that you are contributing positively, either to your community or to your family, or just in general to your surroundings. So you have this sense of a purpose that is driving you every day, and push through life, and you are able to deal with the stresses that come with day living, right? So every day we find ourselves being stressed out. I mean, we're struggling now, no slice about connectivity with our guests, and that's a stressful thing, but we're coping, we're managing it, and we're improvising. And that means mentally we are in a good space because we can think creatively and come up with solutions. Decision making can come in very quickly, and that's what mental health essentially is. On the other side, on the opposite of that end, you have mental illness. And the mental illness develops. So now that means we can move from mental health to illness, because at any point in time, any one of us who is healthy can move to illness, just like you can develop physical sickness, we are mentally affected. But what happens is that there are things that we have no control over, like societal issues, right? That we're talking about in Gokuno's life. So we live in a country where we have a lot of issues that are going on. I mean, if we're talking about crime, if a crime is high, that means a lot of people suffer. I mean, we're talking Gogobantu, if families river right now. That's a mental health crisis, right? That is caused by a social ill, societal issue. We are talking, Slice, about unemployment rates that are high in South Africa. Of course, that means a lot of people who are not working are going to I feel a bit depressed because ababoni hope, there's no hope. They keep on trying, but nothing is coming and happening. We're talking about high rates of gender-based violence in our country. And again, directly impacts the mental health, of our people. Because if we are saying in South Africa, rape is the highest, that means people experience trauma then, that means people are going to suffer PTSD, and those are mental illnesses, depression, anxiety, PTSD. We can develop, now I can develop it yourself, our viewers, just from having these experiences, right? And suddenly you find yourself not coping with life. And what happens is that you go on a downward spiral where you don't feel like your life is meaningful. You don't feel like you have purpose in your life. Suddenly you feel as though, life is just stuck. You're not progressing. And then we are pelelwa vitality, energy, of wanting to wake up the next day, try, set up a goal, do certain things that you had set yourself to do. I'll be yellow energy layer when you are bordering on the mental health or mental illness side. And sometimes it's not preventable because it's external factors, right? But at certain times it can be prevented. That is when I see and I'm noticing that I'm moving slightly from health. Maybe I'm a bit fatigued. Maybe it's because I've been doing quite a lot, and we are ekpeleni, but I can feel my energies are low. There's certain things that I can do to prevent me developing mental illness. That is, preventing stress. Or managing my stress. That is, I must look at my plate and see when am I not overcommitting myself. I must look at, am I getting enough sleep? I must look at, am I active? And active, not necessarily or you are this serious a person that exercises every day. But what is important is that you must move your body, just play some nice music apparently and dance and break a sweat, in the comfort of your home. YouTube Ngogo also has nice, since COVID happened, a lot of people started exercising in the home because they were forced, there was no movement. So there's a lot of YouTubers that actually do very quick exercises that you can do for just functional, movement, flexibility, stretching that you can do that are very short. If you are a busy person, 5 minutes, you can do this at home. You can do this while traveling, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on, of course, the energy that you have for that day. But it's very important that you are active. And research has indicated that exercise actually works better in some cases than the antidepressant that people go into when they are depressed. When you exercise and you continuously do that and it becomes a lifestyle, it can become a preventative measure for you. It can become a healthy coping strategy. So you see, Sly, what we need to make people understand is that when we talk about mental health, we're talking about the ability to cope with life stresses, not the absence of life stresses, not the absence of challenges, but you being able to cope and you having coping strategies in place that you can use to cope with the life challenges. And also having a strong support system, that is having the people that support you, that you can say to them, hey, I'm overwhelmed, people that can lift you up. We all need that. And I think one of the other things that makes mental health very high now is because we are so disconnected. As we connect technologically, we become disconnected socially, which is actually very bad for our mental health, because naturally, as humans, we are beings that connect. We have this desire that is built within us. We are wired that way. We want to connect with somebody, and not in an intimate way, not the obsession of banafuneka connections zibe sexual or zibe, intimate, but just having people that you can sit with and be a part of a community, belong with people that you belong with. They don't judge you. They don't have expectations as unrealistic when it comes to you. They accept you for who you are. You can really be yourself, and you can just let go, and uhlise umthwalo that you feel sometimes. It's very important that we also intentionally build those communities for ourselves, so that we are able to go into those spaces classing as a variety, and have people that we can talk to that can obviously support us. And so when we're talking about mental health awareness, that's what we're talking about. So Zasiva, a lot of times we're talking, the buzzword is mental health. And a lot of people forget, there are people that are struggling with the mental illness. You're sitting in mental health because we don't want you to go to the mental illness side. And we are saying, even if you're not mental illness, you can move back into health if you do certain things, if you put systems in place, if you develop coping strategies. Umntu on depression can actually overcome depression. Umntu that struggles with anxiety can overcome that. If you have had, traumatic experience, through professional help, you can overcome that. You can heal from that experience. Grief, as like we said last time, is something that is difficult, but you can also heal from that. But it requires intention, right? You have to be intentional about getting out of that situation, out of that illness, to health. And so that's why you have people like myself who are psychologists, who are there to help you. Sometimes when you don't have your own community and your own support systems, you can have a safe space where you can talk to somebody that is trained, that is professional, that can help you also to navigate the challenges that you're experiencing, and help ubana athule and just help you to manage the life stresses that you are finding, that you are feeling overwhelmed by, and really be in a space that is non-judgmental. Because I think a lot of people don't speak about mental health because, but boy, you would judge us. Like, we don't want people that are going to judge us. We don't want people that are going to tell us that, we've been useless, or we made the wrong decision. You know what I mean? So a lot
Yeah.
of time, it's
There are
it's
certain
also,
there are exceptions.
yes, exactly.
Umtina.
And it's also sometimes it's sensitive things. Unfortunately, you don't want to talk to someone about a sensitive matter, and then we are Eva ithetwa podcast. So it's
Right?
also about privacy. That's why a lot of people will opt to see a professional, because that person is obligated to keep the confidentiality aspect of things and protect you, protect your integrity, is the masako, but help you. And so I want to encourage people to see also psychologists, not as people that see abantu abaphambeneyo, people that are mad. No. There are different kinds of psychologists that support all kinds of people. And so it's very important that you recognize also when you are no longer feeling like you are yourself, and get yourself help and support as soon as possible. And of course, when we have time, one day, like, I will go into the symptoms and how do we spot sometimes. How do I see someone that I love or someone that I care about is suicidal? What are the symptoms that I need to look out for? How do I see someone that I care about is depressed, or umdanam is depressed? What are the things that I need to look out for? Because sometimes it's just that we are busy with life and we don't notice, the next person, is actually struggling. And there are indicators, there are red flags that will tell us, well, Utobek is not okay, right? There are things that will happen, behaviorally that will happen. There are things that you will notice about me. The personality of a person might change even. Uve kuthi umntu, oh, watshintsha man, yazi wekade esweet man, utheni waba njengolo hlobo, soloko une-anger, and those things that we notice about the people that we love also something fundamentally wrong that they might be struggling with. And we need to look, make sure that we support each other. And that's it. That's my chat.
Wow. I swear, as I always say, after talking to you, one thing for sure is I feel like I'm in a session myself. I don't know whether you are going to be, sending us an invoice as the podcast for all the help you afford us. I'm sure even Nosisana is feeling a whole lot better just from listening. Yeah. Yeah, but
Yes.
one thing I know that we always miss, Queen, is obviously that you are a practicing professional. You
Yes.
have your own
Yes.
private practice as well, and we said that we will obviously make means of making sure that like we get the communication out there. And I think right now we can afford people an opportunity, where people can reach you, for an example. Maybe this is a perfect opportunity to actually do that as well. If people want to get hold of you, because obviously, as you say, it's a personal thing. You might not want to share with someone or ask someone for a contact, or and such things. I think like maybe we can just afford people like contact details and stuff.
Sure, and it's so important to also allow people to get help when they are ready. So when we seeing that somebody is struggling, we must remember that it's their decision that they must get help. We can communicate and indicate kubana we are worried, we're concerned. There seems to be something that we're noticing, but it's up to them to get the help that they need. So it's very important that people understand that as much as you want to support a loved one, you cannot live their life. You cannot live that person's life for them. You cannot make that decisions for that particular person, but you can only provide support. And you can only, when it comes to mental health, you can only be empathetic. I always say empathy goes a long way, just to and show kindness and show real concern, and do what you can from your point, but leave that person to make the decisions of their life. And of course, if you need to talk to me, you can email me at senganatobek@gmail.com. It's always better because I'm such a person that is traveling a lot and busy. It's always better to get me to get me on emails, because I'm very fast in responding to emails. But if you must call me and it's a matter of urgency, I do sometimes make the exception of responding to messages and calling someone back. And on my cell, you can definitely hit me up 073-421-3360. And really, I don't have to
you
be
went
the
through
person
it
that
fast.
you see.
073-421
073-421-3360. That's the number they can contact me on, or WhatsApp me on, because it's also easier way to communicate nowadays. Or my Gmail account, msenganatobeka, that's one word, @gmail.com. The email is the easiest and the fastest way of getting help. But I was saying, Sly, that what I always tell people that reach out to me is that because I have a network of psychologists that I work with, my colleagues that I trust. I don't have to be the person that you see for therapy. I can refer you. So, and I can also help see where you are, because Kalagunda is different, right? And resources are not the same. So, and affordability is not the same. So I am just a resource myself for you, for the viewers out there. If you need support where you are, I can redirect you to the right support networks, and hopefully you can get the support that you need.
Thank you so much. Let's head over to Campscapes and Glamping. Oh man, yeah, exciting times, and thank you so much to the Queen, obviously affording us far more, well, more information as far as our mental health is concerned. Now, at least, I'm sure that we've got a little bit of clarity. She's always with us. She's always co-hosting, so that means if you have a question, you can drop it on. The comment section if you are watching on YouTube. Just go to the comment section. If you're watching on our Facebook page, you can go on comments as well. They will appear live. And obviously, do stress if that you would like for us not to put your message. Live on the podcast. But right now I'm really excited for this particular spot, and where we are actually going as the podcast, to go speak to two people, entrepreneurs, friends of the Slicer TV podcast, personal friends, you name it, it's all up in here. Guys, I just want to say good evening and welcome to it.
Evening,
Nice,
Slicer.
like so.
First of all, it's gonna be introductions, and I don't know whether I should do
Get
them
to host.
myself. But guys,
It's like someone no more. Now, please
Yes.
introduce friends. Now, different my friend somewhere somehow. What
you know
glamping?
what I mean. All
Glamping.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading over to camping that went to private school. We are talking glamping. We are talking, yeah. A double bed when you go camping. We're talking like breakfast with mimosa. Was it mimosa? Yeah, all of that stuff. But we're gonna hear all about it. We always look at camping as this rigid thing. And I used to be a scout. We used to have survival hikes and camps
Mhm.
where we had limited food for survival. But this is the total opposite of that, and the brains behind it. We often talk about entrepreneurship, and these two people, our guests, have actually found a business opportunity, an entrepreneurship opportunity in the camping space, the glamping. Present to you Uxolisa Yelita, and of course Cajun in the building, the Queen. What's going on?
Okay.
What's up, Slicer?
Yeah, man,
Thanks
and of
for
course.
having us.
Adam, I also need to say our resident psychologist is in the building. The lady who takes care of the podcast, we call her the Queen. Her name is Tobeka Msengan.
Hi,
Welcome,
Tolega.
guys. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear all about the glamping. Uslicer has been like just, you know,
Raving about it. Yeah.
raving about it. And me and Sisa are just like, oh my God, what is this glamping about? Because it looks nothing like camping. And it's definitely something that we would like to, experience one day. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
And I think that's the first question. I mean, like, what is all this glamping before we go and find out, how
Yeah,
the company was established, what its objectives are, target market, and all of that.
true.
So, if I were to explain what glamping is, so I started camping, I think many years ago, but I used to do opikopi a lot. I would set up my own tent and all of that stuff. But now, especially when you're at festival camping, there's a lot of drinking that happens. And it's fun when you put up the tent, ne? But when you need to put it down, it's a big schlep. I would end up. I think I've had 3 tents destroyed, and I'm
Wow.
claustrophobic, so my tents were always like the very big ones, the most expensive big ones. And imagine every single time you go camping, you lose a tent. So
You've been
Mm,
Bryanston, you.
I wouldn't pack it properly. I just put it in a plastic bag and just get rid of it. Put it at the back of the garage. And then next thing you know, 6 months later, it's covered in mildew. And then I
mm,
realized that that's actually not the life. I need someone else to do that for me. I'd like to be outdoors. I'd like to
Mm.
be in that festival camping environment, or even if it's just camping out in the wild or whatever. But I don't like the having to put up the tent myself. Now,
mm,
what we're doing is just providing a service where we put up the tent for you, but you don't get to sleep on a mattress, blow up mattress on the ground like most of us have been accustomed to doing. Um, you get a stretched bed and a foam mattress, and we make the bed for you. Basically, you get like a turn down service while in the wild or at that festival.
Yeah.
And we provide food, so you don't have to worry about dinner or breakfast. And I'm one person, whenever I go away on holiday, I'd like, it's not a holiday if there's no mimosa. So I bring into it,
Yes.
like added thing that I have brought into it is the whole, there needs to be a mimosa. Then I'm on holiday. So you get to see the beautiful environment, and you have your mimosa there. You don't have to set up anything. The only thing that you bring with you is your bag of clothing and your drinks, and that's it. And your sense of humor and your wonderful personality. You get to meet new people. I've met so many people from camping. It's something that Black people are very curious about. And I see a lot over the years, especially post COVID, a lot of people have been going into or trying out the camping thing, but some people are inexperienced. Some people also do not like the having to have to put up their own equipment, and also equipment is expensive. If you're buying glamping service, then you don't even have to worry about what is it? You don't have to worry about the having to buy your own equipment. We provide that for you. And also, even when you buy your own equipment, equipment gets outdated. For instance, we once went to somebody's birthday getaway, glamping, camping getaway in July. And we had a nylon tent. We brought a nylon tent, and
Wow.
we froze. And certain things like that, if you don't know that this is the type of tent that you're supposed to bring along with you, then you might have a very terrible experience and probably just write off camping. And camping is such a nice thing. It's such a nice thing to experience. Like I said, you get to meet new people, especially with the festival camping. What we also provide is we do birthdays, we do hen parties, any kind of party that you can imagine in a glamping setup. We organize for you. You can just have a family getaway, a church retreat, or whatever.
Team building.
Yeah, team building as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what
Wow.
we aim to do is we aim to basically make the whole weekend convenient for you. You don't have to do anything, as Okay has just said. All you need to do is basically just rock up with your bag and bring your sense of humor with you and your drinks, and everything else we take care of.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
I love
Mm.
that. I love that. Because I think also camping is intimidating to someone who never grew up, doing it. Because you feel like there's so many equipment that is needed, it's like first of all to go buy this equipment, let alone me having to assemble it. So I love that. That's actually a brilliant idea, just to kind of like provide that service for someone like myself who would say, and if only a outdoor place, because I don't even know once I was with Misa Yongaland. I mean, and also the idea of going camping but being comfortable, I think it's such an appealing idea to me, because the whole idea of you getting out, you still want comfort, right? But you want to be perhaps in nature and just have a relaxed weekend. So and that's exactly what you guys are offering, is the comfort still is there. You are not necessarily completely out in the bundus and worried a lot about what a
Yeah.
lot of people who don't do camping a lot worry about am I going to be uncomfortable and miss my bed and not feel and enjoy the weekend. So I actually like that idea of providing
Yeah.
the equipment.
And and I think you guys have quite a lot happening. I mean, like it's summer, it's getting warmer, and people want to be out there, as much as possible right now. I know that you've got like, some tricks up your sleeves, as far as those are concerned as well. And I mean, like Toto, we're talking about mental health, and there's nothing that's encouraged more like getting outdoors, being within nature, but without the inconveniences that you talk about. I mean, like from a business perspective now, like starting a business like that. Now obviously we have all of this. I'm gonna say myself, and I apologize, freaking useless entities, that are supposed to assist entrepreneurs, start businesses and stuff. How tough was it for you guys? And like, how did it start? Like, was it I don't know, taking out a big loan or buying a small tent and a camp chair and saying, I'm gonna keep it and use it for another. Like, how did it start for Campscapes?
Okay, you want me to take that?
No, you can take that one.
All right. So what we decided to do when Slicer was, with the economy changing and being in a high interest rate environment as we were earlier in the year, we were looking at a business opportunity in terms of which we could basically have an additional source of income, both of us being professionals, doing something that we both enjoy. In other words, being out there in nature and, enjoying different parts of our beautiful country. There's various camping places that you can find from, your Northwest Province, Mpumalanga, and elsewhere. And what we also knew is that, we had met at a camp. So it was the natural business for us to try.
Love found at a camp.
So what we then said was, look, how can we bring in any kind of a differentiator and differentiate ourselves? I mean, we're still a relatively newcomer in the game. You've got your more established companies, especially in this side. But for us, it's also about, taking on the challenge, actually starting something as opposed to analyzing and thinking about how much support we can get, but start with what we have and then, just try and build on from that and, grow into the kind of company that we want to be.
And if I may just chime in, Slice, so just to correct you, definite, I think I've had this conversation with you. Do not, no, do not. So our government is doing a lot to actually help entrepreneurs. Like for instance, I've worked for 2 companies that have actually that are in the development of the economy, especially like township development and all of that stuff. It's just a matter of we just do not have the information, not us. We know the information of as to how do we go about accessing the funding and all of that. But for your viewers, there are many companies. There's like Cedars, there's AIDCs, and there's the innovation hubs and all of that stuff. There's CFA. They provide funding for people that are entrepreneurs that are trying to grow their businesses or even just starting out. So we're also looking at avenues in order for us to be able to apply for funding so that we can further enhance our business so that we can provide more comfort for the people that are joining us. Our target is not to, or our main objective rather, like how he said that there's many people that not a lot, but there's people that are already in the market already or in the same business. How we set ourselves apart is we look to providing a very intimate setup, because what we've seen is that a lot of these companies that are already in the game, they are driven by like the number of people that they sign up or the number of people that are taking up their packages. And then once, like you go to a festival camp and then you go there, you find like 100 tents there. So 100 times 2, that's about 200 people, or 50 times 2, that's 100 people. You can't give each individual good experience. You can't have an intimate conversation with them like how he does. I'm the shy one in this partnership. So what he does is he makes an effort to like go to every single person that's at the campsite, have a conversation with them, find out who they are and all of that stuff. Because especially where people are meeting for the first time, it's very difficult to gel with strangers, and then he just fosters that kind of interaction between them. So what I was trying to say is that the emphasis is on trying to provide a service where the people feel like they're the only people there, that we're just there to serve them, instead of just us trying to make money out of it or create a lot of profit from it. Those are we took from the experiences that we've also had on our glamping experiences with at some other companies. Started out great, but then as the years go by, the service declines because of the fact that they are more focused on quantity more as opposed to excellent service.
To quality.
To quality. Yeah.
And I think that's what people want. I mean, at the end of the day, look, it's professionals, and I like, excuse me, I like the everything about it, because for starters, you are dealing with people. You're not discriminating against people, but you're dealing with a certain level of LSM. You know what the expectation is. You are professionals yourselves. You know, you like your mimosa in the morning. Like, for an example, you know, Kolisa, you like to take walks in the morning, so that is accommodated. And the fact that, like, you know, he is the far more outgoing one, speaks to the fact that, like, you are able to network, because we are in an economy where we're going hybrid as well, as far as jobs are concerned. You have your job here, but you're looking for something else to do on the side. So it's also an opportunity to do that. So it's like you're for adults. It's like a candy store, if you ask me.
Yeah, look, Sly. So in as much as it all feels like fun, but when we've got clients, we actually the fun goes out of it, because it is a hard work. It's a lot of hard work. You have to make sure that the clients are taken care of. You have to make sure that you take them out on hikes, if that's what you're doing on the weekend. You need to make sure that they eat at the right time. You need to make sure that basically they're all comfortable and they've got absolutely no complaints. Whenever a complaint does arise, you need to actually also be very much responsive to the client and make sure that you try and make their stay as pleasurable as possible. So that's our main focus.
Yeah. And I think before people start asking where to find you guys and all of that, I know that you've got like some events up your sleeve, stuff that's happening. And I know that, Queen, you are actually going to be excited about this, First Lady, because it's in your city.
I'm tired of being left out, guys.
They're doing East London. We like, that's how responsive they are. There's something coming up, and they're gonna tell us about it.
Yeah.
Who's going, the shy one or the outgoing one?
No, I'll start, and then he just chimes in. He adds in. He's got that memory, as you can see. So our next event, we've got two events actually that are coming up. We've got the one on the 2nd of November, the weekend of the 2nd of November. It's East London Jazz by the Lake, featuring the likes of MXO, Malay, and McCoy. Thank you. And Rude Boy Paul, who is now known as Umnisiwe Mvula. Yeah. There we go.
Yes.
So we're going to be there from Friday up until Sunday. The jazz, the main event is on the 2nd of November, the Saturday. And what we're going to be doing there, it's at, what is it? Wattle Grove
Guest House.
Yeah. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a glamping set up there. This is actually just for the people that, it's not just for the people that have never camped before, for the people that do not want to drive home afterwards. I am a very huge advocate for not
Me.
drunk driving. I've got something called buddies. I don't drive myself. Once I've had 2 drinks, it's either I'm going to sleep on your couch or I'm a hobo now, but I'm not getting in a car. So we're gonna provide the glamping there so that people who are not keen on actually driving themselves home can just sleep over there. We're gonna have karaoke on the Friday, a braai. We're gonna have 30 seconds, and then obviously on the Saturday, the main event there's gonna be the jazz, and then Sunday
Potjie course as well.
Potjie course, and then
Ooh.
we're gonna have a hike on the Sunday as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the 29th of November, we're taking it to the Mountain Kingdom, Lesotho, for what's known as the Maletsunyane Braai Festival. It's now basically Vodacom's response to the MTN bushfire. It's sponsored by Vodacom. It's on a very nice place called Smonkong in Lesotho. Very mountainous with a beautiful view of the waterfall in the background. Last year's event had a few challenges, but this year promises to be bigger and better. You can catch all the details on our Facebook page. We're available at Campscapes.
And on TikTok as well.
And on TikTok, we also have a presence on
Instagram.
Well,
as well.
Instagram, and you can also email us at campscapes411@gmail.com. And yeah, thank you, Sly. So I don't know if there's any further questions. But
Well,
thank you.
the question is actually directed to the First Lady. Are we doing a special podcast from there that weekend?
That would be nice. That would be, you know what?
Wouldn't it be?
You know what? I'm definitely going to be waiting for once the poster is right, because I'm one person that will be sharing.
Is already there.
It is out.
Please share. Yes, definitely. It's a date. It's a date, because I've never had the experience of, camping itself. And I like the idea of glamping because I like my mimosa when I'm away for a weekend. And I love the idea also of, if I'm out and I have the option of actually just, you know what, stay over. Don't need to worry about getting home, and be responsible, being responsible adults, and really having fun and showcasing the fact that also, what I love most, you guys, is the fact that there is a level of fun that you're bringing, but that is responsible fun, because we see a lot of activities that are out there that are not necessarily responsible, and we want to show young ones, we always say, no slide, we want to be models, and I love having options like your one, where if you are a person that wants to have fun, but you want to have responsible fun, you want to have, fun with like-minded people as well, glamping is your thing.
Yep, that is it, guys. Thank you so much. Obviously, what we will do is we will follow. There will be post-production clips where we actually share the information so that a lot more people can talk about it. And the nice thing about it is that, like on the Slicer TV podcast, we don't just meet up and hang out with entrepreneurs and then that's the end of it. We become sister companies. We become this one group of like-minded people, because I think that is what we need to unlock, where, as far as the economy is concerned, as far as taking care of each other, which is part of the reason why Utoto is here. For an example, we're not trying to reach out to people that are outside. We want to talk to you who's coming from work and you've had a crap day and you like, what can I get? So to a friendship that started like a little while ago, and obviously going forth, we'll always be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks so much for the opportunity. We really do appreciate it.
All right, man. There you have it, Queen. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah, November, because I'm ready for. I'm ready for my overnight bag for the.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you this video so that you play it every morning. You know, like where you have what do they call it? That thing that you put. It's not a wish list. It's a what do they call it?
Like
Something board.
vision board, like
A
a
vision
vision board
board.
thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be your vision board every morning when you wake up. Right.
You know what?
Mhm.
What is going to give me life every day now I'm going to work is the fact that I know Mandela Glamping that's coming up. It's something that I'm going to be looking forward to. And the channel and mimosa, which is exactly what the kind of thing that I want
Look.
to hear when I'm
Mm.
going on a weekend or just a night out. Like, let's have a mimosa, man.
Look, to be perfectly honest, look, I've already made two business contacts from the previous one that we went to because I think like for whatever you go there for, right? You
Yeah.
don't go there with expectation. You go there at
Mm.
least knowing that like your well-being is taken care of. You don't have to think about breakfast. You don't have to think about supper. You know, like and all of those things.
Convenience.
The
Convenience. When we
convenience.
look,
So you're
yeah.
yeah, and it's like-minded people. You're not worried about this or that.
Yeah.
That these are professionals to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a better way is like to take care of our mental health. As working people, like you said, we do a lot, and we can neglect ourselves a lot because we are grinding, hustling. Third
Mm.
stream income. You want different kinds of streams as you're balancing out the finances, and then you forget, Nobana, you need to also pour in to yourself so that you can keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And glamping, as much as someone else might think, oh, it's a waste of money, or how way too, it's actually important to take time, especially as a hardworking person, to do things once in a while, something that is going to disconnect you from the busyness of the world, that is going to refill you exactly and fuel you
Mm. Mm.
mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and just connect. I spoke about connecting and social connections and importance of that in our mental health. And I think this is a brilliant, brilliant way of actually encouraging a mental health of people. So if hauna mali ngoku, you can start saving up for it, and then you make it that thing that you're gonna do, man, for you and your well-being. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and I like what you talk about. Like it's something that I'm big on, and sometimes it's often to my detriment because like I have a very addictive personality. There's something called a delayed gratification. I'm a very big fan of that. I'd rather
Yeah.
work knowing at the end of the day, and at some point I diagnose myself as lazy, and I was like, it's lazy people. Like they just work, 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 work because they know they're gonna rest at the end of the day. But like if you were to
Mm.
apply it in business or in affording yourself time, that delayed
Mm.
gratification like means a lot,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Queen, it's just a pity. I don't know. I thought like we would have
Oh,
Sebenzile back so we can find out more about
yes.
the Nelson Mandela Bay Film Forum and what they have in store. Yeah, but obviously next time. And one other thing before we go, like I went out. I'm not gonna mention the company's name, but like it's in the health space, and
Yeah.
this whole thing. Excuse me, because obviously I know someone there, and he happened to mention that like they have a wellness day,
Mm.
a day where you can go have your checkup,
Your
your health
checks.
check. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
So I took advantage of that, and now part of the reason is because like now it's gonna be summer. I haven't cycled in forever, and I want to get my hop back on my bicycle
Mm.
again. I want to start
Yeah.
working out again, and the mistake that we always do is we go hard, we go hard and without knowing what our health state is, and half the
Mm.
time you hear that like, no, he was fit as a fiddle, he was, now all of a sudden they're sick. So it becomes very important that like we go, I mean, like, and it goes with age as well. And I think even if you're a
Yeah.
young person, you make a habit of making sure that you check your health, like,
Yeah.
as much as you service your car, and
Yeah.
especially
Exactly.
now that the seasons are changing, your body is going to respond differently. Your diet means a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took some clips and stuff, but I thought I would share. Well, they'll probably go on social media platforms just to encourage other people to actually go out there, take care of yourself. There's only this one body. There's no other
Only
way.
one body, only one life. All you can do is to really make sure that you do all your best in taking care of yourself, as much as you do in giving to other people. I think we do not do as much in terms of servicing ourselves, as you said, and it's a disservice to ourselves. I mean, speaking about even October being a breast cancer awareness, it's very
Yes.
important. A lot of women wait until it's very late to get their test, and it's quite an important check that you must do. So this month, if you haven't done it, I know sometimes it can feel like such an effort to go and get these checks done. So many excuses. I'm busy. I'll go to I'm fine, man. I feel okay. And sometimes it's prevention more than anything that you are trying to do. When you go and do your checks when ungafilindo, it's good because that means you are on the prevention side of things. What we don't want is when we go for health checks when there is something wrong that
There
we
is
already
something,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think we need to get into the habit of just taking care of ourselves, man.
Yep. Queen, anyway, if you want to get hold of her, it's senganatobega@gmail.com, 0734213360, because she does have a private practice and she's ready for you, because like there are a whole lot of dynamics as well. Some people are thinking about changing jobs, and to use this time that affects you mentally. You might think like, it's just stress at work, it's just this and all of that, just to run those checks as well. So Queen, once again,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Another beautiful session. Hey, when I see Sabuya, maybe actually it was a
Yes,
good thing.
Kayla, no.
Seps will come back. Tayakon. I'm Seps is going to be, back when Caesar is back. And
Yeah, it
we have
probably felt like, like the movie person is not around, so how's it gonna, okay, yeah, I feel you. Thank you so much, First Lady. Have a good one.
have a good one. Bye.